seconds. Stand by. "20 rope climbs is the first task that confronts the female-female pair. They can go in any order they like, and they do not need to share the workload evenly. However, each athlete must at least do one rope climb. Train hard, play harder on their 5th rope climb at the moment. And Team Desire have just finished their 5th rope climb. CrossFit Tropic Thunder from Townsville, they have completed, this is their 7th rope climb. CrossFit Norwest also on 7 rope climbs. So at the moment, the field is fairly close together. We may see some separation in the back half of these rope climbs. Remember, it is 20 rope climbs and can be performed in any order, and as long as each athlete does one, they can share the workload however they see fit. 2 minutes down, we're approaching the halfway point of these rope climbs for many of the teams. So, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got teams from a number of different nations, in particular in lanes 1 and lane 7, Zest, and my apologies, lane 8, Limelight, they're from South Korea, CrossFit EKB from Russia, CrossFit Asia from Japan. All the other teams are Australian affiliate teams. I will wait for a judge's hand to go up in a moment. Team Desire just missing a rope climb there. So these 20 rope climbs, due to that short rope, it's a very challenging climb, and it's quite tactical. You don't want to be jumping on that rope too early and having a missed rep. Ladies and gentlemen, in lane number 9, your leaders with the hand up are CrossFit EKB from Russia. Go ahead and make them feel welcome in Sydney, Australia, ladies and gentlemen. CrossFit EKB. They have done a very nice job on the rope climbs. At the moment, they are still the only team with the judge's hand up as far as I can see, so we've got a handy little lead here. They've done a very nice job on the rope climbs, kept it consistent. Hand is up for CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder. So lane 9 is your leader, lane 6 is in second place. EKB are off the rope climb and onto the 40 cal rope. So both athletes must row 40 calories. Both athletes holding over 1,000 calories per hour. So if you're unfamiliar with the rower, that's a decent pace for a 40 cal row. So really substantial lead already. However, as I say that, have our second team onto the rowers, and it's of course train hard, play harder in lane number 4. Tropic Thunder has the hand up as well. So CrossFit Townsville in lane 6 look to be the next team. CrossFit Northwest have the hand up. Still only have 2 teams on the rower. Now after the rower, it is 60 snatches at 135 and 95 between the two. So effectively, both athletes will do the workout. Isabel, Ward's Gym are next on the rower. So again, just to put that in context, it's 20 rope climbs, then 40 cals, and then Isabel. CrossFit Townsville, Tropic Thunder and CrossFit Northwest are both on the rower. However, the hand is already up for EKB in lane number 9. So they were first on the rower, and at this stage, it looks like they'll be first off the rower. Both athletes must row 40 calories. And for EKB, I have 1 athlete done and 1 athlete with 2 calories remaining. So if anything, the gap has gotten wider since they got to the rower. We've got CrossFit Northwest on 8 calories. CrossFit Townsville, Tropic Thunder on 10 calories. Train Hard, Play Harder on 30 calories. Ward's Gym on 15 calories. So maybe a slight correction there. I would say that Train Hard, Play Harder have in fact closed the gap. Train Hard, Play Harder are starting to make a move at EKB. So lane 9 is your leader, and lane 4 is currently in second place. It is 60 snatches between the 2 athletes. They will advance the bar every 10 reps. So EKB have done 10 reps. Train Hard, Play Harder are off the rower and on the barbell. And look at that. Barbell fly up and down in lane number 4. Looks like very lightweight for Train Hard, Play Harder. The time cap on this one is 17 minutes, so we're currently at 8:50 and the men are yet to start, so we're going to be really pushing to try and get this done under 17. Okay, so I have Train Hard, Play Harder through 10 reps, and EKB are through 20 reps, so it's a 10 rep lead to EKB. Wait to see who can advance the bar first. CrossFit Townsville are on the barbell. So Train Hard, Play Harder are starting to close the gap. They are starting to make a move at EKB. They are in the same block of 10. I'm going to give it to EKB by about 6 reps. EKB have done 30 snatches. Train Hard, Play Harder have done 25 snatches. All right, Train Hard, Play Harder are through 30. CrossFit Townsville and Norwest are making their way through their first 10. EKB are just getting towards the 40-minute mark, 40 rep mark of the snatches, I should say. And I reckon by the end of this chunk of 10, Train Hard, Play Harder could be up in level pegging. In fact, your new leader is Train Hard, Play Harder. They are through 40 reps. EKB are through 39 reps. EKB advance the bar. Train Hard, Play Harder with 15 reps to go. They've managed sets of 5 the whole way. And if they keep that up, I think they will release their male athletes first. CrossFit Norwest, Tropic Thunder, and Ward's Gym also on the barbell. Train Hard, Play Harder crew, make some noise for me. Your athletes are going to be the first ones done with their female pair. Now they've received a no rep, which must stay in the box. They've still got a handy lead over EKB. So as soon as they touch the chest piece, the male athlete will be released. 2 more snatches for Train Hard, Play Harder. In fact, they are done. CrossFit EKB in lane number 9 look to be the next pair to finish. They're on their last 10 snatches. However, Train Hard, Play Harder have already got several rope climbs done in lane number 4. And EKB, who are early leaders, have still held their spot at the front of this heat. They are in second and their male athletes are away. Give it away for EKB, ladies and gentlemen. Their female athletes are done. Wonderful effort to take it out hard. And they were only mowed down in the snatches by Train Hard, Play Harder. So we've got roughly 4 minutes remaining. 17-minute cap. Don't think we're going to see anyone finish this workout, but every rep will count towards a score. 3rd place at the moment, you're looking at Ward's Gym in lane 3. And in 4th place is CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder in lane 6. Receives a no rep, and that's because the feet must stay in the designated area. There are lines on the playing arena. If the feet leave that area, the rep will not count. It's of course for the athlete's safety. So you would imagine that Train Hard, Play Harder will get to the rower for 40 cals. From Richmond, Victoria, Ward's Gym, owned by the 2 Ward brothers standing at the end of the arena. They are going to be the next team to release a male pair, or are they? Look at CrossFit Townsville, Tropic Thunder making a late charge. And it's neck and neck in lanes 3 and lane 6 for 3rd spot. And I'll give it to Ward's Gym. So Ward's Gym released their female athletes. And the boys from Train Hard, Play Harder are now on the rower. So they are our clear leaders at the moment. I will get you a score in a moment from their rower. CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder, their female athletes are done. CrossFit Norwest have less than 20 snatches remaining. All right, there is less than 10 reps remaining for CrossFit Norwest on the barbell. We've got 1:20 until cap. Very, very challenging workout to finish before the cap. Seconds now. Norwest are through to their male athletes. "30 seconds, athletes." Kudos Bank Arena, this is the first heat of Sunday, so go ahead and make some noise for the athletes working on the floor. And at the moment, the Train Hard, Play Harder crew are the only team to get the male athletes to the barbell. And look at that athlete go, 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Keep it going for your winners of heat number 1, Train Hard, Play Harder.
Our lane assignments. Nervousness on the eyes of these teams. The Cranky Burn Rhinos, who've done pretty well so far, they were just on screen. But keep your eye on the guys who had a great day 1 in lane number 3. They are Sydney-based, and it is CrossFit Kirrawee. They're looking to bounce back after a rough day 2 yesterday. 5 qualifying spots up for grabs. In the next 2 events, we're going to find out who the top 5 teams are going to be represented at the Reebok CrossFit Games this year in just a little while. Now, Danae, if you wanted to kick things off with a really rough start, it's going to be, hey, have 20 rope climbs.
Oh, exactly, Jeremy. Now, I think one of the keys to the success in this particular event is how good are your athletes, in particular the females on the rope climb. Now, as we can see, it's not your standard length with the rope climb. It is shorter, which makes it very difficult to clasp onto. So what I am looking for is the females to be very competent in that particular movement. Now, if we look through the event, it's pull, pull, pull. So it's rope climb, you're pulling, rowing, you're pulling, and snatching, you're going to be pulling to get the hip drive off of the ground. So this is also going to play into effect when we get the athletes moving from the row, so from the rope climb to the row, into those power snatches. Now, if the athletes can't pull it up high enough, what it's going to mean is that the athletes will then need to drop into a full squat snatch. Now, what effect that is going to have on this event and your time means that it's going to just take that tiny little bit longer. And we know, you know, in a sport like this, it comes down to seconds. And, you know, as that old cliche saying goes, every second counts.
You better believe it. And to give you an idea of how difficult this event is for the teams, 4.7% of teams worldwide are getting this done. That equates to 7 out of 146. This is a brutal test for these teams coming into the third day of a tough competition.
That's correct, Jeremy. You know, think about the workload that these people have had to do prior to this day. Now, look, I'm sure in terms of the volume of training, these athletes at this level will be very familiar with the load. However, you know, what we also need to bear in mind is all the anxiety, all the anticipation leading up to this event. You know, this is the 3rd week as well.
Are you talking about us or them?
Both. Both. I think we're both.
It's just as exhausting. I hear you though. Our event record worldwide, it is from CrossFit Mayhem Freedom. No surprises there. From the Central Regional last weekend, 15:27. We know the master of rope climbing, Rich Froning, would have drilled that into his team. And they have set an absolutely blistering pace for these teams to catch. No teams in heat number 1 are getting over the line. But are we going to see something special from the last 2 heats of our teams? They'll be wrapping things up later on. The individuals will hit the floor roughly around midday for a pretty dramatic finish, I think. But these rope climbs starting to take their toll.
They sure are starting to take their toll. Now, the female that was on screen just a moment ago, as you can see, you know, because of the way the rope is set up, it is a little bit shorter. You can see a couple of the athletes just having a little bit of a problem being able to lock their legs in. Now, the thing which I think people need to bear in mind is that because it is cut off short, what happens is the end of the rope seems to swing a lot from side to side. So it's very hard to actually clasp your legs into it so that you can catch it, so that you no longer need to use your arms.
Shannon Austin there from CrossFit Raw Iron, clasping with her legs together. Adi Karnowitz, she's been here on the regional floor with CrossFit Northwest before, moving to the Gold Coast and joining the Raw Iron team down here at the Pacific Regional. A number of teams now are moving to the rower. And no surprises, bottom left, it is our guys who came out with a bang. It was CrossFit Kirrawee. The blonde bombshells, I'm not just talking about the females either. CrossFit Carve in the white shirt, center of screen. And Adi and Shannon jumping down onto the rower. Adi with that colourful pink hair. So even though they are in team competition, there's a number of athletes who have got regional experience. And we'll see that next up in Heat 3 with one of the fittest guys on earth, Rob Forte, and his team currently at #1 position with Reebok CrossFit Frankston. Amy Alessi there, far left of screen with the blonde hair. Beat him many times as an individual competitor. Nicola Borgatti to the left in the white shirt from CrossFit Carve. She was here last year with their team. CrossFit Lake Macquarie, their first time here. But Josh Santhau, one of their males, he's been here as an individual competitor many years back. And Angela Kime from Legion. We used to see her on the individual side, not in the team.
We sure are, Jeremy, and I'm sure that plays into the strength of the team. You know, just having that athlete that has been able to compete at that at the individual regional level standard. Now, as we look across the line, we can see the women here. Now, what I am looking for and what I do like to see is when almost the athletes can work in unison here. With that said, if one athlete tends to be a little bit of a faster rower and they can handle the row a little bit more, what I'd probably like to see is them be able to pick up the pace so that they can then think about grabbing the barbell as soon as they're off the rower, just to give their mate that tiny little bit of a breather before they head off to their snatches.
Two teams about to get off the row. One of those, bottom left of screen, in the white, blonde hair. It is CrossFit Kirrawee. Meg Cox finishing up her row. Amy Alessi about to finish up. A couple of pulls to go. And they are going to be our first team off the row and onto the barbell.
Great. So as you saw, that was really, really well done by the girls here at Star Strength and Performance. I loved how Meg got off the road. She took a little bit of a time to, have a bit of a break. But then she also gave Amy that opportunity, because she is a little bit shorter, to have a little bit of a break before she got onto the barbell.
Now, I spoke about these girls on day one. Alex Underwood, the male, he's actually got the longer hair out of the whole team. But that hair whipping back and forth, is it going to be off-putting for these girls? You can see Amy's hair slapping her in the face for each rep. Maybe that's the way she counts her reps.
And one hair whip, and two hair whip.
I'll whip my hair back and forth, yeah.
Look, the girls look really strong here. Now, I know both of these athletes are very proficient with the snatch movement, so that is of no surprise. But I think it was a really good strategy that the girls adopted. You saw Meg just walking across the line with the power snatch, and then she handed the barbell over to Amy. And as you can see, Amy again, she finishes her rep, she walks across, and then starts to go again.
Couple of different strategies employed. Shannon Oxford to the right of screen, CrossFit Raw Iron, just dropping under that barbell a little bit deeper just to be able to catch it and stand it up without having to use too much arm. 80 now to the right. Another one with those long ponytail.
Jeremy, and that could be the effect, as I spoke about earlier. With this particular event, we're looking at a rope climb, which is a pull. They're then going into a row, which is another pull. So, if an athlete isn't as strong in the power snatch, what they may want to look at doing is just holding their pace back a tiny bit on the row so that they can get a higher pull off of the ground and their pull isn't as fatigued, which means they have to drop a little bit less underneath the barbell.
Great battle going on across the floor. Bottom of screen, it is CrossFit Kira Wee with a very slight lead over CrossFit Carve in the middle of the screen with the white shirts. That's them right there. And a no rep there from Nicola, just stepping outside that box. You don't want to be getting any more, no more reps than you have to do. Blake Macquarie to the far right of screen. Seems like all teams have coordinated with white shirts this morning. But Raw Iron to the left, they had a great comeback with the assault bike and deadlifts yesterday. The top of screen in the white and the blue, Star Strength and Performance, they are currently in third. Blake Macquarie in lane number 6 in the white are currently in fourth. They're left of screen now. A couple of individual athletes from Star Strength and Performance in the individual female competition, Isabel Gosling and Chelsea Doherty. Now we talk about halfway points of events and time caps. These girls are way over that halfway point time-wise. The idea of getting those gentlemen into action as soon as possible, and it's no surprise that only 7 teams have finished. It's a whole heap of work to get done in roughly 8.5 minutes. But it is CrossFit Kira Wee, the first to tap in, Meg and Amy.
Yeah, Meg and Amy really got their team off to a great start, didn't they, Jeremy? That's going to leave their men with a lot of confidence coming into the back end of this event.
We have got a great battle on our hands here. Kira Wee, Star Strength, also Lake Macquarie. So Lake Macquarie overtaking CrossFit Carve, who are now walking over the line to tap the chest piece and have a bit of a rest. Lake Macquarie, the surprise packets coming in, and they have done extremely well. Train harder, play harder. Is the time to beat from the first heat. And the guy I spoke about earlier, Josh Santhau from Lake Macquarie, going up the rope in the grey shirt now. A lot of regional experience. And you can see that experience as he dropped down the rope, but still maintain control in his hands.
Definitely, Jeremy. It was fantastic how he was able to just slide down, but control the rope as he descended, because that's going to be really important. That is going to come into play. As you see that with CrossFit Lake Macquarie there, the athlete needs to ensure that the rope isn't swinging too far away so that they can get their legs attached on. Now, that was just legless all the way. Or you could just do that.
Well, Josh is sitting at roughly around 6 foot. He's a very tall athlete, and these rope climbs, he's a super strong guy. And you can see 1, 2, 3, pull, tap. You can probably even get away with maybe one less on the rope.
Potentially. Now, as you'll notice, one of the athletes on the Lake Macquarie team is wearing gloves. Now, the idea around that would be not for him climbing up, but see how he's sliding down the rope? It just means that he doesn't get rope burn.
And we've all had that before. You only do it once, because you don't do it ever again.
So watch as he slides down the rope. Now, having the gloves on is enabling him just to slide down and keep hold of that rope, whereas if he didn't have any protection there, he wouldn't want to keep hold of it.
And leaders for the females are now the leaders of the males, as Lake Macquarie finish up, but they are trying to catch lane number 3. It is CrossFit Kirrawee. So Lake Macquarie catching up some time, so they did come in third after the snatches from the female, so they've made up a lot of time. But now it's almost like a recovery rope.
It is. I think it would be important for the guys, you know, not to go all out on this rower, because as I've discussed before, they are going to need that pulling strength, and they do want to make sure that they can keep that heart rate at a really good level. It is kind of that risk versus reward here, where if you go out too hard, it will sacrifice your movement when you come to, you know, the power snatch here.
Alex at the bottom of the screen for CrossFit Kirrawee. But only a very slight lead over Lake Macquarie. CrossFit Carve in the red shirts, centre of screen. Lake Macquarie in the grey and Star Strength in the blue. It's been a great battle with these 5 teams for the ladies. And now who's got more in the tank? Alex Underwood finishing up first. Alex Cox just about to finish up. Bottom I left the screen in the black shirts. They've synchronized pretty well. But now the battle begins, and the next 90 seconds to see how many reps they can get through. And can they cause a bit of a stir now on this leaderboard?
Look, I really loved what they did there, Jeremy. Now, Alex was able to finish just that tiny little bit faster. I'm assuming he was just that little bit more of a competent rower. He is, you know, he does actually have that long legs, long arm span, and he's ran straight down to start the power snatches, giving his partner just that tiny little bit of a break before he attacks the barbell.
Tell you what, the barbell cycling rate of CrossFit Kirrawee, but a crucial no rep, not standing it all the way up.
So we can see pretty much it is just a grip and a rip. So he is cycling very, very fast. Pulling it up, there's obviously no problem at all with his pulling strength or his pulling power. He only has to drop under slightly.
Alex Cox cycling so well, and he's the first to move forward. But Lake Macquarie are hot on their heels, but it's going to be Kirawee that are going to be our new leaders after 2 heats. Lake Macquarie to the far right in the Dre. And Kirawee, Alex Underwood, throwing it around. And remembering only 7 teams worldwide have got this completed. And that's exactly why CrossFit Kirawee, they came out with a splash day 1, and now they are back with a vengeance day 3. Sydney Olympic Park is the venue, and we are inside that building, the Kudos Bank Arena, for day 3 action of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Pacific Regional. My name's Jeremy Austin. Alongside me, Danae Brown, and on the competition floor, Lily Cosgrove will be joining us later on. We've seen a bit of carnage this morning already, and that will continue all day long. And standings after 4 events for the team competition. Reebok CrossFit Frankston at the top, Schwartz's in second, 1-2-1 in fourth, our 3 Melbourne teams. East Tamaki from New Zealand in third, and rounding up the top 5 is CrossFit Athletic from Sydney. CrossFit Mana, not too far out, and also the 6-4 Army, both New Zealand teams as well. 6 tests for these teams over the entire weekend. This is test number 5. 20 rope climbs, 40 calories on the row and 60 snatches. The males will then tap in. 20 rope climbs, 40 cal row and another 60 snatches, 70-minute time cap. 95 and 135 are the weights. And 42.5 kilo or 61 kilos for the conversion. Our lane assignments for heat number 3. Let's look no further than lanes 3 through 7. That is where the battle is going to be. But can things shake up a little bit? CrossFit Kirawee have done that in the previous heat. We'll have to wait and see in the next 17 minutes.
Female pairs. Really, the rope climb has been a big deciding factor in this event.
Underway for the 3rd and final heats of the 2nd last event for the team competition. We had I'm going to say, we had a bit of a poor showing from Schwartz's and Frankston yesterday. I was actually pretty shocked to see them not do as well as I'd hoped, especially on event number 4 with the worm thrusters and burpees. Those 2 have done the event before, and I expected them to be a lot higher. But we're going to have to wait and see. A couple of keys to success on this. We'll head down to Lily Cosgrove on the floor.
Hey Jeremy, how are you going up there? I've been speaking to some of the teams backstage about what the keys to success are in this event, and particularly Schwartz's CrossFit told me that it all comes down to the rope climbs for the women in particular. So the Schwartz's team told me that if the women can power through these rope climbs and get their part of the work done by the 9-minute mark, they believe they can actually be one of the few teams in the world to finish this event. They did finish it once in training, and then the second time they practiced it in training, they didn't finish it. So it all really comes down to the girls and how they're able to perform on these rope climbs.
Expect to see Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne and a Reebok CrossFit Frankston heading back for another crack at the Reebok CrossFit Games later on this year in August. But as we've found out over many regionals, anything can happen on day 3. Moving day was yesterday. A couple of teams moved down and a couple of teams moved up. But had a chat to these guys yesterday, and after a bit of a pep talk from Benji Schwartz, they came out in event number 4, and if you can call it a pep talk, he told them they were okay athletes, but not great, or something along those lines.
I think it went along the, look, you know Rob Forte, you know Chris Hogan, but you know what? You're a bloody good team. And that's what's going to get you over the line.
Nothing like instilling a little bit of confidence and a little bit of pressure going into that event.
In Benji's own kind of way.
He's a special human, Benji Schwartz.
You do have to have thick skin, that's for sure.
Danae, backstage, speaking to Schwartz's CrossFit, they seem the most relaxed actually out of any other team out there. Some of the teams that are on the bubble, the teams from 6'4 Army, from Moorabbin, they're looking really, really nervous. But Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne and actually CrossFit 121 look really calm and really just cool, calm and collected.
I wonder if that whole thick skin is something that builds a little bit of resilience, you know, coming into this last day.
I think so. I think just, you know, that being there before, Schwartz's team have been to the games before, CrossFit 121, they've got some very experienced regionals competitors. Just that experience makes them feel confident going into day 3.
On the roller at 3:27.
Our first 2 female athletes. One is Maddie Tat, and a very happy birthday for yesterday. She's only turned 23, and what a big future she has got. She's left the screen down the bottom, and Sarah Drain, her partner, they want to kick off day 3 with an event win, but Schwartz is hot on their heels, so the center of screen is where it's all happening. But don't discount CrossFit Moorabbin, who were at the games last year. They're down in lane number 1, just to the far left of screen. They weren't too great yesterday, but they want to bounce back as well.
Now, as we look down the line, what I am looking for is the females to stay fairly composed through this section. I have spoke about this in other heats, in that it is a pull event. So if you want to be able to cycle very fast on that snatch, and you want to be able to stand up as high as you can, you're going to have a fair bit of pulling power. Now, if we think about it, we've just done a lot of pulling on those ropes, and we're now doing a lot of pulling on the row as well. So it's important for the girls to obviously set a nice tempo on this rower and set an even pace and get themselves set up for success as they move over to the power snatches. Jeremy, I just want to add there, you know, if they do reduce that pulling power, what it's going to mean is that the people are going to have to drop under the barbell even more, which means they may have to fall into a full squat snatch, which is going to waste precious seconds. And in an event like this, and as we often say, you know, you have to make every second count.
The all-important top 5 are going into the back end of day 3. CrossFit Manor only 12 points back. They are to the far right of screen. Guys sitting in there. CrossFit 121 in the blue. The Tamaki had a great comeback in day 2, and they moved straight into that number 3 spot. They want to cement it. The girls from Moorabbin, front of screen, they want to cause a bit of a stir today as well. Our event record, 15:27. And the 2 ladies moving forward are only 15 seconds behind that time.
Now, the girls here on screen have chosen to do a few short reps. Let's see if that lengthens out and they choose to cycle a few more than 2 or 3 reps as we get closer to the end of their section of this event. Because what we want to keep in mind is, yes, they'll be able to cycle it very fast if they're doing 2 or 3 reps, but you've also got a lot of transition times as well.
Danae, I was speaking to some of the teams back in the warm-up area, and they said it all comes down to cycle time, as you just mentioned. So it's not a good idea to hold onto the bar and cycle slowly. That's just all about ego if you do that. It's about jumping on and doing really fast snatches in quick sets and then transitioning really quickly between the athletes.
Great point, Lily. Exactly, and I think, you know, that was an excellent point you made in terms of it is all about the ego. You've got to think about your teammates, and I know that that's really, really important, and I'm sure that that's exactly what these girls will be out there trying to do.
Maddie Tan taking her ego out of it and only doing double reps now, which is probably a very smart move. But they only have a 3-rep lead over the team on the right-hand side. Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne, and the battle continuing for first and second place today. And there's 1 and 2 in this heat.
You know, what's interesting to note, Jeremy, is let's have a look at the two girls side-by-side snatching. Now, we see we see the Schwartz team there. When they're bringing the barbell down, they are touching the top of the legs. Now, we can see, we're just looking at the two different tempo and cycle rates. Now, it is a tiny little bit faster when the snatch hits the top and then goes straight down to the ground. Now, the only thing is this does take a little bit more power, and it also does take a little bit more energy. So yes, it's faster, but it does take that little bit more extra energy.
Reebok, CrossFit Frankston in the black and the green. Our current leaders and our leaders overnight. They are being chased down. Far left of screen, CrossFit, Moorabbin, both teams from Melbourne, and third place team, Schwartz's. Some stuff happening down in Melbourne, I'll tell you. Moorabbin to the left, looking for their second trip back to Madison this year. They have got some work to do today. And getting the gentlemen into play as soon as possible is going to help that.
What I would like to see from Moorabbin, because these girls look very, very strong, is for them to, once they receive the barbell up the top, drop it straight down to the ground instead of tapping it on the top of their thighs. It's going to give them that tiny little bit of a faster cycle rate. You can see them moving very, very smoothly, but I'd love to see them drop it straight from top down to the ground.
Danae, it's interesting you're speaking about Moorabbin. I've actually got their coach right behind me on the floor, Kyle Frankenfeld, and he is yelling at them. He's giving them some tips. He's saying, keep going. He's saying, just go as hard as you can. He's really fired up.
And they are under 5 reps from finishing. Frankston have already tapped their guys in, Jay and Rob, and Moorabbin now tapped in just under that 10-minute mark. Speaking of good athletes, that's a crazy cycle time on rope climbs for Rob Forte.
Jeremy, that's of no surprise that Rob chose to do 2 rope climbs. So what he's doing there is he's just cutting down a little bit of seconds on the transition time, because he is competent enough to be able to go back to back, which, as we have spoke about many occasions, you know, when the seconds are crucial. I love how he's sliding down with one hand, just keeping control of that bottom of the rope, which is very crucial, because the first part of the rope is a legless, but you need that bottom of the rope to stay nice and still, because it is very hard to clasp your legs in when the bottom of the rope is flinging, you know, left to right and all around everywhere.
It's funny talking to Rob yesterday. He had a plan going in with his team, and he said the plan did not go as expected. Expect a better day 3 from Reebok CrossFit Frankston. Only 7 teams worldwide have finished this event. Expect 1 to 2 to do that. So we may only get Moorabbin and Frankston over the line.
Now it's going to be interesting. Now remember that Reebok CrossFit Frankston, they've been doing, each athlete has been doing 2 rope climbs, okay, compared to every other athlete on the field who is choosing to do 1 and then tag their mate. Let's see how that plays out when we get to the end of this event.
Guys, I'm down here on the floor, and I just wanted to let you know the coaches from 6'4 Army, from Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne, from CrossFit East Tamaki, they are right down here, right on the sideline, and they are absolutely screaming. The stakes are really high in this event. The energy down here is crazy.
And crazy up here as well. And now Frankston are only 50 seconds behind event record pace. Moorabbin 20 seconds back from those guys. Can we see one team get under this 17-minute time cap and become the 8th team worldwide to finish event number 5?
Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne, any other hands up?
Lane number 2 to the left of screen, 6'4" Army from Christchurch. Done very well in their first regional appearance. And they are sitting just outside that top 5. They are 30 points back with a lot of work to do to move up into that top 5. Mount CrossFit, top of the screen in the blue. Our second team to move to the row. And our third team is Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne. And Moorabbin, they are now on. Great day 2 for the 6'4" Army, making up a lot of ground on moving day. They keep going this well. They are going to sneak into that top 5, but still, with 3.5 minutes left, a lot of work to do.
In second place is lane 6 and 10. That's Schwartz's and Mount CrossFit. Slightly behind them in 4th is Moorabbin. We've got CrossFit backs that have less than 5 calories remaining. So Schwartz's.
Rob Forte finishing up his row. Jay finishing his up. So great pacing. And if anyone's good at barbell cycling, it is Mr. Rob Forte.
That was a great strategy by Rob. You know, you can only assume that the athlete that chooses to finish the row and go straight to the barbell is the one that feels a little bit more competent coming off of the row. And I really like that because it, as I've said in other heats, you know, it is giving the opportunity for the other athlete in the team just to have that short break before they hit the barbell.
Affiliate owner and regional athlete in his own right, Luke McGrew, front and centre. Mount CrossFit, they were the second team to the row. And it looks as though Luke is just finishing up. Ash doing the same thing, moving on. They have made up a massive ground. They're from Mount Maunganui in New Zealand. At the top of the screen, you see Ash just coming to the barbell. Luke starting things off, and now they are on the chase to close the gap between them and Reebok CrossFit Frankston, far right of screen. What a daunting task, chasing down Rob Forte with a barbell in his hands.
Jeremy, he looks effortless. You know, he's holding a wonderful position. He really doesn't even need to move his feet that much because he's got so much pulling strength from the ground, and the barbell's moving so efficiently and nice and close to his body. He's able to lift it from the ground, shrug up with his shoulders, and just a small drop underneath.
Ash and Luke in the second position, and will nail a very formidable 94 points if they can maintain the second position over the 3 heats. These teams are running out of time as we only have 1 minute remaining, and they only have 1 event remaining.
So what I'm looking for here, Jeremy, is that even though in the heat of the moment of all the action that's going on around, what I'm looking for is athletes to stay fairly composed and find their flow within this movement. I'm looking for, you know, the weight of distribution in their foot almost to flow like a waterfall, you know, from the midsection back to the foot, and then as they lift the barbell up, right up onto the toes.
Reebok CrossFit Frankston are itching their way closer to this finish line. Can the guy with so much regional and games experience get his team over the line with only 10 seconds remaining? 5 reps to go for Rob Forte. Is he going to go unbroken? The crowd going nuts. But they are going to run out of time. The Reebok CrossFit Frankston going to maintain that position with another 100 points. We're going to see a bit of a shake-up with the team competition coming into event 6, but God, he looked good with the barbell, didn't he?
Oh, didn't the crowd love that? He was just putting on a spectacle. You know, he just so smooth. So smooth.
Only 2 reps short of finishing. And that's what the crowd has come to see. Rob choosing to go team this year instead of individual, and it looks as though they'll be close to head back to Madison. The second time for Reebok CrossFit Frankston. But Mount CrossFit, weren't they the surprise packets of this one? The rope climbs were exceptional. And possibly 94 points for those guys. For all your official results, make sure you head to games.crossfit.com and check all those out. But wow, the shake-up will continue, and it will continue in event number 6 as well. See, Marabin, they did some work early. Now heading down to the competition floor, we've got Lily Cosgrove.
Reebok CrossFit Frankston, congratulations, another event win. Now, what was the key to that particular event? We've talked a lot about the women on the rope climb. Was that it, or was it the snatches?
Snatches. Definitely the snatches. We wanted to try and stay composed on the rower, especially, just so we had that grip to go on the snatches. Yeah.
Now, Rob Forte, that got pretty exciting towards the end. You had about 10 seconds to go and about 10 snatches to go. And previous to that, you were doing 5s, and then you just decided to, hold on and see if you could finish it for the crowd?
That's exactly right. I knew we were ahead, which was silly of me to keep going at that pace, but I was trying to do it for you guys. 2 reps short. That's close. Hopefully it doesn't affect me for the last workout. If it does, I'm blaming all you guys.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Looking good for the last event.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Rob Forte and his team looking very, very relaxed, and what a show they have put on this morning. That is event number 5 for the teams. Event number 6 for the teams coming up soon. We'll have more live action here from Kudos Bank Arena at Sydney Olympic Park.
Stand by. All right, here we go. This is the final event for these teams for the 2018 Pacific Regional 144 handstand push-ups, 144 footworm lunge. So athletes must rotate in a clockwise order and maintain that order throughout while one member is in the handstand hold. This event, the event record is 5 minutes and 2 seconds set by Torrance Training Lab. So this is going to be fast. So to put it in perspective, for the event record, Torrance Training Lab completed the handstand push-ups in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Already about 40, over 40 reps down towards Jim. So some extremely quick handstand push-ups here. Look at train hard, play harder, go. Right, so again, the athletes must rotate and maintain the order. Every time an athlete kicks up onto the wall, they must complete at least 1 rep on the handstand push-up before rotating.
play harder. CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder. Looking good out on the handstand push-ups. Fast reps and quick changes is what it takes. Get out of the handstand push-ups first. And now 144-foot worm lunge as the athletes will lunge the worm over the red line down this end of the stadium. They will then place it down, swap shoulders and lunge all the way back up. And it's Ward's gym now. All right, so now the race is on. Train hard, play harder. Just a couple of foot advantage over Ward's gym. So both teams took the early lead out on the handstand push-ups with fast reps and good teamwork, but it's now going to come down to the lunge. As train hard, play harder, have to place the worm down. Ward's gym continues on through. All right, now we have CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder and CrossFit Northwest join out on the worm. So look at the race between Train Hard, Play Harder and Ward's Gym as Ward's Gym makes that tiny little bit of a gain every step. And we now have a new leader. It is Ward's Gym. So Ward's Gym just one step ahead of Train Hard, Play Harder. And Train Hard, Play Harder are forced to put the worm down as Ward's Gym continues on. They've got just one more. There we go, Ward's Gym place the worm down. So it's Ward's Gym, number one, Train Hard, Play Harder, number two. But making up some ground now is CrossFit Northwest and CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder. CrossFit EKB also on the worm. But it's Ward's Gym that make their way up for the final lap first. So Ward's Gym look like they're going to be extremely difficult to catch from here on in. That's 36 foot down of that 72, so they're halfway now, Ward's Gym. Halfway through the final lap. Ward's Gym now with just a few steps remaining will take out heat one of the final event. So Ward's Gym with just a few steps remaining. And CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder have just taken over as Ward's Gym gets across the line and take out heat one. CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder now. Then CrossFit Northwest and Train Hard, Play Harder but it's CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder making their way up the lane. So CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder with just a few steps remaining. They should be your next team across the line as they get no reps and have to put the worm down. That gives opportunity for CrossFit Norwest. CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder. No, get another no rep as CrossFit Norwest. Just a few steps to get across the line. CrossFit Norwest, one more step. They are across the line next. Now the battle's between CrossFit Townsville Tropic Thunder as they get across the line next. Then train hard, play harder. 1 minute remaining as CrossFit EKB make their final lap. We have just 45 seconds on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final time these athletes will be out on the floor today. Let's make some noise for CrossFit EKB. With just 30 seconds remaining, can they get through to the end?
Last one.
20 seconds remaining. Keep the noise up. This is their final time out on the floor. 10 seconds. Let's get them every step we can. 3, 2, 1. Well done, CrossFit EKB. And to your heat winners, Wards Gym.
Here are our lane assignments for heat number 2. Kira Wee can cause a bit of a change in leaderboard action with a great result here. We're 9 minutes away finding out if things are going to jumble up like they did yesterday.
You know something clear, ladies and gentlemen, there are multiple teams in this heat which can still qualify for the CrossFit Games.
CrossFit Kira Wee, lane number 3 in the black and blue. And a great day, day number 1. Things didn't go to plan yesterday, but coming back, great result in event number 5. Trying to move up that leaderboard as much as possible. Important bubble teams sitting around wanting to get their first crack at the Reebok CrossFit Games. A couple of teams we're probably not likely to see. Moorabbin have got to do something pretty amazing for their second return trip. But knowing how the point system works here, anything can shake up. 144 handstand push-ups. Teams must actually rotate. The athlete doing the handstand push-ups will be able to rest once they're completed. The athlete before the handstands must go into a handstand hold. And they can rotate, but they must keep the same format. They are from a WWA, and that was Angela Keimer getting off the handstand push-ups. She's been here a number of times as an individual competitor. It's her first stab at team competition, and a number of teams from Perth, Western Australia. Another one of those coming up in our next heat. It is Injustice, who did go to the games last year. So the standard. Athlete to the left must hold position, shoulders locked out, arms nice and straight. As the second athlete to the right performs high-skill gymnastics movement. Now, Lake Macquarie, they were a surprise package, one of the lowest teams ranked coming into the regional. They have jumped into 10th spot. Now, they are still 64 points back from that bubble. But they've done very well to date. Our team in front is the team that did so well on day number 1 at CrossFit Kirrawee. All athletes all choosing to go with the knee sleeves, protect those knees a little bit as they go through the lunge. Star Strength and Performance with a blue shirt just dumping their worm. And Lake Macquarie, the team I spoke about, sitting in 10th, just about to pick up the worm for the 144-foot lunge on the way back. Hitting the halfway point. Heat number 2. Team competition wrapping up. In about half an hour or so, one more heat to come following this one. And a great battle in lanes 4 and 5 between Raw Iron from the Gold Coast and CrossFit Carve. Both Queensland teams about 20 kilometres from each other, but try to catch our current leaders from Sydney, CrossFit Kirrawee. 100 points here for those guys. Would shake things up in the bottom 3 positions.
Into 3rd position. But it is CrossFit Kirrawee who look to be setting a new time to beat.
CrossFit Kirrawee are way out in front, almost a full length ahead of Star Strength and Performance. The Blonde Brigade bringing it home strong to give the Sydney crowd something to cheer about, and cheer about they are. CrossFit Kirrawee coming over the line, unofficially 6:05. How is that going to shake things up? I am not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see.
So in 2nd place in the 2nd heat is Star Strength and Performance.
Star Strength and Performance, the blue shirts on screen. They are roughly 10 seconds away from finishing.
Girls Flag Arena, I want you to go out there in the 7th. For Star Strength and Performance, they are done and across the line. Battles of third is on.
Star Strength and Performance. And what a performance from those guys, second in heat number 2. A great battle going on now. The Craigieburn Rhinos, bottom of the screen, having to put that worm down as CrossFit Carve from the Gold Coast who have got a worm. It is Zeke Grove's gym, and Dino at the front there really taking a lot of the load with it dripping down. But it is down on the floor, and he is down as the team come over the line, still with 90 seconds remaining on the clock. The Craigieburn Rhinos, great finish from them. Bit of an up and down day yesterday. But coming home with a wet sail in event number 6. Raw Ryan now, another one of our Gold Coast teams. Big Johan at the front. And see how much taller he is than Shannon, the second athlete. Johan's partner, Caitlin Marks, in the individual competition. We'll see her a little bit later on. But Raw Ryan are going to get under that time cap. Johan, Shan, Rafi and 80, they are over the line. 8 minutes, 16 seconds. And Benny Garrard's team, Benson, they're under time cap as well. 2 more teams battling it out. One is Lake Macquarie, who started off so strong, but just couldn't get themselves sorted on the worm. And Reja, one of our Russian team, failing on that last rep, so they'll have to go back, but allow Lake Macquarie to sneak in. As there's 10 seconds remaining on the clock. And Reja, agonisingly short. Meters, in fact, and some frustration from the big Russians. CrossFit Kirui. Great win in heat number 2, event number 6. 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Lane assignments for heat 3. Expect those guys in lane 5, Reebok CrossFit Frankston, to do something amazing here and ensure they book their trip to Madison this year. As we've seen over the course of the 3 days. Don't discount anything. But in 9 minutes, we will find out who those 5 teams are.
Jeremy, what I'm looking for here is a really quick cycle rate on those handstand push-ups and really fast transitions. Now, what we want to see is people in their teams take a large chunk of these handstand push-ups because there is 144 of them. If they're going to have to break and tag their teammate, what that's going to do is it's going to actually slow down the completion of the 144 reps.
Hey guys, I'm down on the floor here and I just wanted to point out that the men from Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne are actually doing strict handstand push-ups because they are just that so much faster than the kipping variant. And I spoke to that team backstage and they were really nervous, despite sitting in second place, really probably comfortably getting a ticket to the games. They're super nervous about this event. They want to do really well.
Lil, after my own heart with some strict handstand push-ups. Obviously, it's going to be a lot quicker if you've got the ability to punch through those at a great range or not.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like the men sort of will do some strict and then some kipping. So just, being able to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, I just spoke to Benji Schwartz before, actually, and I said, hey, mate, your team are looking really good. And he goes, oh, D, it's not over. It's not over yet. So look for them to come out with a bang.
Yeah, they really just, they want to play serious till the very end. They're never going to count their chickens before they hatch.
Well, mathematically, Schwartz's could possibly clinch as long as results go the way we expect. But expect to see those guys over in Madison. And mathematically, Reebok CrossFit Frankston can do the same. They are in lanes 5 and 6. Reebok CrossFit Frankston in the red and black. And Maddie seems to be going a lot wider with those hands. As long as she keeps those fingers the hands inside that box, she's good to go. CrossFit East Tamaki, they are from Auckland, New Zealand. 3 games appearances, back to back to back. They have changed their team quite often over those 3 years. Coach Zach Nothling was very confident coming in. They're sitting around the bubble, East Tamaki, so take nothing for granted. And the race is on now. Benji was right, Lil, because they are the first to pick the worm up.
They do love the worm, Jeremy. And Zach's Pack East Tamaki are going to be heading out pretty soon. They told me back in the warm-up area they really love the worm and they're hoping to get into the top 3. They aren't comfortable sitting where they are in 5th and they want to get into the top 3.
The race is now on. Schwartz is center of screen. Frankston in the red. And 1-2-1. Are they going to make their rookie appearance at the CrossFit Games? Chris Hogan's done it 3 times as an individual. This will be their first appearance here as a team. It could be their first time at the Games as a team.
Well, look at this, Jeremy, now. This is all really going to come down to survival of the fittest. Who is willing to hurt the most? I love the rhythmic speed on Schwartz's CrossFit there. Look at them, they just seem to be working as one unit, which is exactly what you need to see. But, you know, coming up the back of them is Rob Forte's team from CrossFit Frankston.
And Danae, we saw it in the last heat. The worms sitting on those shoulders at different positions. We've got different athletes. Schwartz is doing something a lot different to Frankston as they both come over the line at the halfway point.
Now as they drop the worm down, it's going to be vital to see who can edge away at this point. Now Rob's taking the lead here, which I think is just brilliant because I know that he's going to have the fortitude and strength to carry the team over the line. But can Schwartz hold on in this moment? Now it's important for Schwartz not to drop their head and not to be thinking in terms of, you know, we're racing alongside Rob Forte's team. They need to ensure that they can steal that inner strength and just keep battling along like they are.
Both Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne and Reebok CrossFit Frankston not changing any positions. They stayed in one position all the way up. They didn't move positions. They just flipped around, picked the worm up, and down they come. And the 2 teams coming into event number 6 in the lead are going to be 2 of the teams represented here from the Pacific Regional at the Reebok CrossFit Games this year. They're going to go 1-2 here. They're going to finish 1-2 on the leaderboard. And Rob Forte is going to go back for another Games appearance, this time in the teams. Frankston, what a finish. And Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne again heading back to the Games. And what a relief for both these teams. 2 of our Melbourne teams heading back. Can we make it a 3rd? We are going to make it 3 from Melbourne. The Hogan brothers. Chris going for his 4th Games appearance, first as a team. The 6th for Army. A great result from them. Some more jostling on the leaderboard to come. Injustice, Games team from last year. CrossFit Athletic, have they done enough? They're sitting on the bubble. East Tamaki, one of those teams that were in the top 5. Have those guys done enough? We are going to have to see what happens. East Tamaki in that 5th place finish. These results coming up to you are going to be crazy. Maravana Games team from last year, they're not going to be heading back.
I think just feeling a bit of the effects from the weekend there, and I guess, you know, watching all these teams cross the line as well, you'd have to be feeling a bit physically and emotionally beat up at this point.
I'm feeling beat up. I don't know what these guys feel like.
You can see the disappointment there just on their face. I think the realization of what's just happened has just sunk in.
Which was a different response to last year when they snuck into 5th to go to the Games for the first time. But Mount CrossFit, they were in contention coming into this event. They just couldn't do enough to get there. But still a great result and another regionals appearance for Mount CrossFit. Luke McGrew and his team from Mount Moganui. They finish things up with still a minute to go on the clock. winners, Reebok CrossFit Frankston. Rob was going to blame the team blame the crowd if they didn't do well in this event. Well, he can thank the crowd, can't he?
I think they were cheering him the whole way through that event, so it's no surprise that they came home really strong. Now, as we watch across the board here, you know, a lot of the athletes choosing to do kipping hand style push-ups there. The Schwartz team did get a head start with CrossFit 121 breathing down their neck, but it's of no surprise that Rob Forte, with all his experience, you know, really led his team, you know, on the home straight and to success.
Pacing early, but coming home just ahead of Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne. Results of event number 6. 1-2, no surprises. Kira Wee, what is that going to do to the leaderboard? We'll have to wait and see. CrossFit 121 look like they've done enough. Have 6-4 Army done enough? Has CrossFit Athletic done enough? We'll have to wait and see until we get the official results. No East Tamaki in that top 10. They're in danger of missing out for the first time in 4 years. But our heat winners of event number 6 are standing by with Lily Cosgrove.
Reebok CrossFit Frankston, what a fantastic finish to the weekend. You were coming neck and neck with Schwartz's CrossFit down to the finish line, and you were able to overtake them. How did you do that?
Just staying calm. I think Rob's such a great leader. He keeps us all so calm that we just know that we just stick to the game plan. There's always a plan, we just stick to it and hope that it pays off.
So you were 4th at the regional competition last year, and this year you have just absolutely dominated, coming away with a victory over the weekend. How have you managed to do that?
I guess we've had a lot of experience as a team and having a team here from the gym. So we've had a team here since 2012. So I guess that experience helps a lot, and especially the worm, like I've been on the Invitational a few times and these guys have all used it multiple times. And I think that pays off a lot. We know what sort of works, what doesn't, even though we had our mishaps yesterday, but we've learned from that, and you always continue to learn, and you've got to take those lessons away.
So heading to the Reebok CrossFit Games for the 2nd time as a team, but with a new team leader and such an experienced Games veteran, what will the story be for Frankston this year at the Games?
Who knows? Hopefully we can crack that top 10, and you know, I honestly think we could have executed a little bit better here, so we'll take those lessons away, and hopefully we can show up and give all the Americans a run for their money. Yeah.
We would love to see that. Give it up for Frankston, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lily, and what a great couple of days we've had here at our new arena. Kudos Bank Arena, the crowd really getting behind these teams. Is anyone sick of seeing Rob Forte?
Never, never. He is such an inspirational leader, and he really put that into, you know, we've seen him here on the competition floor, how calm and relaxed he is when he is competing. And, you know, you can see that in the team here. They definitely put on a professional show this weekend.
Speaking of the weekend, cast your mind back to the handstand walk over the obstacle on day 1. Seems like weeks ago.
Yes,
it was only a couple of days ago.
It was only a day ago, yes, walking over that obstacle on day 2. I mean, it was, you know, it almost feels like, it's a funny thing because I was chatting to a friend of mine last night and was saying, it feels like the days are like weeks and months long, but then they go so quickly.
I know, and then you blink and you miss it. And the last 3 weeks of regional competition worldwide has gone past pretty quick. A couple of regions still going on, the Atlantic and the Meridian. So more results still to come over the weekend to find out who the 5 fittest men, women and teams are going to be to represent each regional at the Reebok CrossFit Games in August this year. What's some performances? Like Kira Wee, day 1. Like one of the fastest times worldwide with the overhead squat, the double unders and the obstacle walk on their hands. Like that was incredible.
Oh, that was incredible, wasn't it? You know what they showed is that their females were really, really strong. And, you know, in a team of 4, I think that gosh, you just really cannot have any weaknesses, can you?
Oh, absolutely not. And I think Dave Castro's done a remarkable job of trying to expose those weaknesses as much as possible within the team competition. Coming into event 2 though on Friday, like the run, chest to bar, and then like introducing the 4-person weigh-in for the first time on regional competition, I think it took people a bit by surprise how hard that event was, because there wasn't many people that finished worldwide.
Oh, this is true, and you know, I do wonder if it was because the worm was just that little bit heavier, and you know, perhaps they didn't anticipate it to feel so hard out there in the competition floor. I mean, remember that, you know, the emotions are running really high, and that event in particular, how brutal.
Oh, it is. You talk about emotions running high. I tell you what, there's some teams on the floor right now. I could say another word, but they're packing it a little bit because they're not sure. Have they booked a ticket to Madison to represent the Pacific Regional? There's some teams on the bubble who are sitting there who didn't have the breathing room that Frankston and Schwartz's did. Tamaki are one of those teams. Athletic are another one. We mathematically think that 1-2-1 are going based on the results from event 6. I don't know, what's it like as a competitor waiting for that announcer? Like, you know sort of roughly if you're going or not, but it's not until you hear your name that you go, oh.
Oh, exactly. It's not until you hear your name until you can sigh, you know, a breath of relief. But I guess, you know, in this moment, you really are, you do have those butterflies that's going on around inside your stomach. You know, just waiting to hear, you know, the event announcer call out your name.
And the Mexican wave is starting to happen here at Kudos Bank Arena. And Danae and I are going to get involved as well, because it's all about the crowd here. But a massive crowd here to see who is going to represent the Pacific Regional this year. And the anticipation, I don't know, it's like a feeling of dread.
Yeah, look, it's a, you know what? It's a feeling of dread and a feeling of joy. Because, you know, this whole weekend, I think Dave has taken us on a fantastic journey. We have started off the weekend, you know, with excitement, and then it has continued on. I didn't think it could get any better, but it definitely has.
And it's got better for the guy on screen in the black shirt, Chris Hogan, 3 times Games competitor, and he's going back to the CrossFit Games. And I actually saw him smile after an event. How about that?
Hey, did we get that on film?
Yeah, we did. We've recorded that, so we can actually put that up.
There's emotion there. There's
there
emotion. Mr. Cool, Calm and Collective, hey?
Kieran Hogan, Chris's younger brother, he's happy. He's been at the games before in the Schwartz's team, but pretty proud. Brother Chris and wife Maria, the affiliate down there in Melbourne, Maria's going to be over the moon.
She is going to be over the moon. I know, I was speaking to her earlier, you know, over this weekend, and she said that the CrossFit 121 team, you know, did have a couple of events that just didn't go their way. There were, you know, a few events out there that they were a couple of minutes slower than what they had did in training, which happens. You know, we know in this regional setting that you're always not going to come out and, you know, because of everything in the environment of what's going on around you, that can happen. So I think, you know, if they can come away after finishing off this last event really strong, they will be very, very happy, and I'm sure that they will not be taking it for granted.
Body language telling the story on the floor. There's some smiles from some teams, some frowns from others, some others just blank looks while they wait. The 6'4" Army from Christchurch. They brought an army with them of supporters. So much experience in that team from Schwartz's as well.
Oh, so they did absolutely brilliant this weekend. But you know what? I still can't go back to Benji's comment.
Mana, they're sitting on the bubble. Have these guys done enough? There's that anticipation dread look I was talking about, and just waiting. Mud's there. Seen him here as an individual competitor, and back with the team from Mana. Heading down. Ed Morrison with the announcement of the team competition.
Would you join me in congratulating all the teams for the weekend over the competition? New format, new venue, and the most exciting teams competition that we have had. Alrighty, I'm going to announce these teams from first place down to fifth. And in first place, and no surprises here, with 552 points, Reebok CrossFit Frankston. In second place, making yet another appearance at the CrossFit Games on 512 points, Schwartz's CrossFit Melbourne. In third place, making their debut at the CrossFit Games and rounding out an all-Victorian podium on 460 points, CrossFit 121. In fourth place, again making another trip to the CrossFit Games with 450 points, CrossFit Athletic. And in fifth place, wrapping up that final qualifying spot for the 2018 CrossFit Games on 432 points, CrossFit East Tamaki. Keep your applause going, ladies and gentlemen, once again for all the teams on the arena. If we could ask the teams to stay out here for a group team photo.
So now, wow, Samaki sneaking in 4 consecutive games appearances. Whoa.
Isn't that interesting, Jeremy? You know, I did not see that coming.
Oh, it was tight, that last result. Obviously, yeah, Mana very, very close. But Reebok CrossFit Frankston, Rob Forte flexed it a little bit for us. And at the top, Reebok CrossFit Frankston out of a possible 600 points, getting 552 of those. Quite dominating, really. Schwartz is doing well. Pretty much anything over 500 is going to be pretty awesome. 1-2-1, they were just consistent. Athletic doing the same. And then East Tamaki, the battle of the Kiwis. East Tamaki Mana, 6-4 Army. And Kirawee, I reckon one more good result from them yesterday. Oh, that would have been a great story, but look out for those guys next year, because there'll be something special.
Yeah, I have to agree. You know, CrossFit Kirawee really showed us, you know, what their athletes are capable of. And I think if they can stick together for another year, they will be a force to reckon with. But Tamaki, you know what? I guess what that proved is that they were able to show us their experience in a competition level.
Camaraderie, everything down here at the Pacific Regional. These guys absolutely pumped. They've been battling out as competitors now, but now they're going to sort of band together a little bit and go and take on the world, literally. We've had some great results, so many spectators. Make sure you head over to games.crossfit.com for all your official results. Team competition wrapping up here. We've seen our 5 fittest teams heading to the Reebok CrossFit Games in Madison in August. We'll be back here for the individual competition at Kudos Bank Arena in just a little bit.